Judge Kavanaugh continues to face questions surrounding his behavior, his past behavior with women in high school and college. And there are some weird defenses coming out in favor of Judge Kavanaugh from conservatives. Now, it's not surprising that conservatives would try and defend Kavanaugh, but it's the grasping at straws and acting like they have the argument, the winning argument that will now defeat these accusations that is sort of incredible. So there's one I really want to focus on here, and it's from Charlie Kirk. So yesterday he tweeted this out. Kavanaugh says he has calendars from 1982 that exonerate him and show his accuser's story doesn't match up at all. I am so impressed he has 35-year-old high school calendars. This is definitely the type of guy we need on the Supreme Court. Now, if you didn't know who Charlie Kirk was, you might think that that tweet was sarcastic. But it's not. He's being serious. So because Kavanaugh didn't schedule in his assault, his sexual assault in high school on a calendar, that now somehow exonerates him from from the reality that he very likely did commit this sexual assault and possibly others that are now coming out. So let me just go through some of the details just from the one accusation from Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. So while on one side you have Kavanaugh and his calendars and him not scheduling in his sexual assault, on the other side you have Dr. Ford, who there is mounting evidence on her side that shows why would she be lying about this? Why would she bring this up now? So let me just go through some of it. So first of all, she has a history discussing this. So in 2012, she was in couples therapy with her husband where she talked about this, and there are notes from that time. So here's more from CNN. Ford said she kept silent about the alleged incidents until she was in couples therapy with her husband in 2012. Her husband, Russell Ford, recalled to the Post that she talked during their 2012 sessions about the incident and said she had mentioned Kavanaugh's last name and that he was a federal judge who might be on the Supreme Court eventually. So, look, I have a lot more to talk about, but I could end the conversation right here. She talked about this in 2012. What other possible reason would she have to discuss this in couples therapy if it did not happen to her? So, I'm going to move on, but I think this speaks for itself. Now, she also took a polygraph test. So, Christine Blasey Ford, Brett Kavanaugh's accuser, passed a polygraph. Now, look, polygraphs, of course, aren't 100% proof. There's a reason why they aren't used in courtrooms. But that said, if she was lying about it, why would she volunteer herself to a polygraph test and then also on top of that, pass the polygraph? She's not lying. This happened to her. More. So this from CNN. Kavanaugh accuser wants FBI investigation before testifying. So this is just another piece. Why would Ford be asking for this FBI investigation if she wasn't confident in her story? And Donald Trump, who has the power to grant that investigation, why is he not doing so? And why are other Republicans apparently also not wanting that investigation to go forward? And also, there's precedent for this. So George Bush Sr. requested an FBI investigation into the Anita Hill, Clarence Thomas case. So this has been done before. Yet Trump, in this case, is not doing that. Why? If somebody is guilty, these are not the steps they would take. They would avoid a polygraph. They would not push for an FBI investigation. They would not have a history from years ago talking about the very thing they're talking about now. Now, let's go to just the last piece here that I think kind of sums it all up. And that's the motive. What motive does Ford have to make up these allegations? How is she benefiting from this? How has this improved her life? So she actually had to move 3,000 miles away from where she lived to get away from that entire situation, to feel like she was moving away and leaving that part of her life behind her because it bothered her that much. It affected her life that much that she moved away because of it. And now that she's come out with this, she has faced death threats and is talking to the FBI about that. So, do you understand why more women don't come out and talk about these sorts of incidents that happen to them, especially when it comes to powerful men? This is what happens to them. Not only do they get death threats and have to deal with all these thousands, millions of people questioning whether this actually happened to them to begin with, but this also now defines their life. Dr. Ford had a life before this. But now, anytime that someone hears her name, likely for the rest of her life, they're going to associate her with Brett Kavanaugh and sexual assault. Why would anybody want their life defined that way? They wouldn't. But the reason she has come out and talked about this is because she feels a responsibility as an American citizen to tell people who Brett Kavanaugh really is. So, you have all of this evidence. And then on the other side, you have Brett Kavanaugh, who didn't write into a calendar when he was in high school, didn't write in that he was going to a party to sexually assault somebody. Come on. And look, at this point, I think most people, even most conservatives, likely believe her. They see all this evidence. They see the history of her talking about it to her therapist. They see the fact that she passed a polygraph test. They see all of this. But they still continue to fight her on this and try and smear her simply because they want their Supreme Court pick pushed through. It's gross. If anybody who was on the left had a history of this, a Supreme Court nominee, a Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders Supreme Court nominee, had this sort of history, they should not be nominated. They should have to withdraw. But when it comes to conservatives, they don't care. It does not matter. For them, it's all about winning. They want to win. It doesn't matter about what's ethical, what's moral. It's all about how do I get what I want done as fast as possible, regardless of what it is, who it's going to affect, or what have you. They simply want done what they want done, and they want it done now. So, there's now more allegations coming out. This from the New Yorker on Sunday. Senate Democrats investigate a new allegation of sexual misconduct from Brett Kavanaugh's college years. And this is a piece from Ronan Farrow and Jane Mayer. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into this story as details keep coming out and this story keeps evolving, but essentially there now appears to be a pattern of behavior here from Brett Kavanaugh and the people that surrounded him in his high school and college years. So, I mean, at this point, you have to think that they're going to withdraw his nomination. I just don't see how he can get pushed through with all of this baggage on him. But I guess crazier things have happened. Now, for, the small fraction of people out there that think this entire thing was fabricated, that it was all, George Soros and the Democrats made this entire story up, why wouldn't they have done this also with Neil Gorsuch? Neil Gorsuch, who is also terrible in his views. But he has no sexual assault accusations in his past. Kavanaugh does. These are real. If it was fabricated, they would have already done this with Gorsuch. So understand that. I mean, I think the people I'm talking to, my audience, get that this story is real. It's just a matter of how Trump and the Republicans really deal with it. And just, I guess, to tie everything up, Charlie Kirk, I mean, I don't think he even believes half the shit he says. Charlie Kirk must understand that a calendar that doesn't have Kavanaugh's the location of his sexual assault written into the calendar from his high school years, he must understand that that does not exonerate him. He must get that. But he is paid to push this propaganda out there. And as I've said before, a lot of people that work in this industry, they simply are driven by their ability to make money. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about bettering humanity or, improving lives for anybody. It's all about how much money can I make. So if there's a way for him to make money by pushing out this kind of bullshit, then he'll do it.